Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about a new low investment strategy that's super simple to set up. The goal of each map is to go in, kill everything, get out very fast. We're looking to do 2 to 5 minute maps. We're not looking to spend too much time in them. And I think you'll really be surprised by how much money this makes given how little we have to put into each map. Let's start with our Atlas tree first. So for this, we are simply trying to pick up all the stuff that we can do for no downtime. So we are picking up strong boxes. We are picking up every single strongbox node. Now you can add a ambush scarab and the ambush sextant if you want to this, but I personally found like you didn't really need to. And I just wanted to mostly kill my legions, then get out. We're picking up all the legion nodes. Every single one of them is good. For the bottom portion of this legion node, we're specifically picking up increased chance for Mariketh and increased chance for Templar. These really don't hate each other too much. You aren't reducing your chance of finding Mariketh too much by doing this, but you could possibly drop Templar if you have a massive excess of everything but Mariketh. You need a few more Mariketh. On top of that, we're also picking up Rogue Exiles. These just were the best things I could find for a few points, but realistically, you could put those points wherever you'd like. We're picking up every single shrine effect. These shrines honestly make the strat super fun. If I get a speed shrine or a spell echo shrine, I can stand in the middle of a legion and instantly blow it up with no problem. It makes it super enjoyable. It feels like old Headhunter. It's amazing. We're also picking up all of the Searing Exarch stuff. What you could do instead is you can pick up the Eater of Worlds stuff if you prefer to farm Eater of Worlds. The choice really is yours. We still want to pick up all these map modifier nodes either way, so you probably would be making your way over here anyway. You can choose to pick up Wrath of the Cosmos and Eldritch Gaze if you want to, and maybe drop like the Rogue Exile nodes if you want to farm some Ichors at the same time. But I personally didn't really like when I had 6-7 altars on me and Wrath of the Cosmos one-shot me. I was mostly looking for something super comfy. But if you did pick Wrath of the Cosmos and did Ichor farming at the same time, you'd probably increase your profit by another 1 exalted hour or so, which would put this around 9, maybe 10 exalted. In terms of blocking, we are blocking absolutely every other piece of content. This is because we want to get more legions. We're going to get +1 legion from the Gilded Scarab. We're going to get +1 legion from the Sextant, and then we can get a 3rd natural legion, which is why we're blocking everything to give us more legion chance. And it's why we're picking up the legion chance on the tree as well. The last little bit of the tree, and this is honestly my favorite part of the whole tree, is this right here, Packed with Energy. I call this the Nicotech, and it is honestly downright amazing. Each sulfite vein you click in a map is going to give you +1 max res, 35% increased damage, and 15% movement speed. We aren't using any master missions for this. And honestly, be honest with me, when was the last time you used your Nico missions? You probably have 50, 100 Nico missions lying around doing nothing. And this is a perfect way to use them. It just makes you a bit zippier and it gives you a lot more damage and it makes these maps a lot faster. In terms of map sustain, we can sustain every single dune by just simply picking singular focus and doing the normal strategy of having the map you want to run as your favorited slot -1. This way, we will get nothing but dunes, and if a connected map for dunes ever drops, which we have Cage, we have Crystal Ore, we have Lava Chambers, and Precinct. I preferably like Cage the most, but you could do any of these. Whenever a connected map drops, it'll be a Cage, and then if we ever somehow run out of dunes, we'll just do the few cages that we get, and we'll get a mass amount of dunes. Let's also talk about how we're going to be juicing our maps. All we're doing is we're just taking a chisel and an alch. We don't really care for the specific quantity on these. All I did was chisel, alch, and then chaos orb any of the bad mods on it. So for me, I don't particularly like running max res. I also just straight up cannot do reflect, so I got rid of those. But otherwise, we're not doing anything special on the maps. In terms of scarabs, all we need is Gilded Legion. As I said, since we're picking up all the strongbox stuff, you could also put polished or gilded ambush onto this as well, but you really don't need to. It just depends if you want to for maybe another exalted an hour. And then for the 2 sextants we're using, we're just simply using +1 legion, and we're using splinters and emblems dropped by legion monsters are duplicated. This is what's really carrying this whole strategy. With our tree, we have a 1% chance for every splinter to drop to be a emblem. This can also duplicate that. Quite a lot of times in the few maps I've done to test this, I've ended up getting 2 Mariketh emblems at once. And if we bulk sell on TFT, Mariketh emblems are worth 120 chaos each. So you can just get an instant 240 chaos just like that. Your other options for scarabs are the strongbox one. You could put the strongboxes are enraged and additional strongbox on your map if you'd like. But I wanted to keep this really simple and just really down to the bare bones where you can add anything else you'd like onto it. I just wanted a really comfy, really simple farming strategy that made quite a bit of money. One tip I'd like to give you quickly about these compasses, we can apply them together. So if I take a Legion encounter one, and then I take another Legion encounter one, we'll have two of them at 4 uses, and it will only take from one of them. So this effectively means I have 8 uses of Legion encounter before I need to apply new Sextants. It'll always take from the highest one. So for example, it would take it from this would go down to 3. It would take it from this next because it'll be at 4, and so on. If you're using elevated Sextants, this means you could do 32 maps in a row without having to worry about your Sextants. The same applies for Scarabs. If I were to take these Scarabs and put them in my map device like this, it will simply just take from the biggest stack. So ideally, if we're using elevated Sextants and we're using a mass amount of Legion Scarabs, I can have 40 Scarabs sitting in my Atlas, and I can have 32 uses of compasses on my watch zones, which means for most maps, all I have to do is just put my map in and go. As for the map device, all we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Domination. Since we're stacking all the Shrine effect on the tree, this is amazing. This also gives us more chances at the Speed Shrine and the Spell Echo Shrine, which just make this faster. On average, each map takes me 2 to 3 minutes. If I get a Speed Shrine, I can do the map in 1 minute. Other than that, we're also just putting a Nico mission because we're using the Pact with Energy tech, and you just simply put your favorites influence on it, either Searing Exarch or Eater of Worlds. In the description of the video, I will also have a import code for better trading. All you have to do is import it, and then you will have a very nicely organized list of trade searches for everything you might need for this method. I highly recommend, if you are going to buy Scarabs, I recommend buying the extra Legion ones off of TFT. These are kind of hard to get in giant bulk, and on TFT you can buy 10, 20 of them very quickly. The duplicated one is very, very rare on TFT. I would say come here and buy them off a trade instead. It will only take you a few minutes to get enough for, 30, 40 maps. The elevated ones, I highly recommend using the extra Legion one. This one isn't too expensive. And for the duplicate one, if you can somehow find any of them listed, because these usually get bought really fast, you should probably buy one of these too, as they're not much more expensive than buying 4-use ones, and they just save you a lot of effort, and they're really comfy to use. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing in our maps. I use a very strict loot filter, so I don't see much of the loots. You can pick up a lot of the stuff, such as Scours, Regrets, Fusings if you'd like, but you don't necessarily need to. I would recommend that you do go into your filter and hide 2 stacks of Timeless Eternal, Karui, and Vol, as those are effectively worth a Chaos Shard each. And it's not really worth our time to loot 2 Chaos Shards off the ground, as you'll be seeing them quite a bit, and they do make this a lot slower. The goal of this strategy is to go fast. We're looking to do 10, 20 maps an hour, and we don't want to waste a few seconds here and there picking up 2 Chaos Shards at a time. For Timeless Templar and Mariketh, you definitely do want to pick up the 2s of them. Templar in a stack of 2 is like half a Chaos Orb, and Mariketh, each Mariketh Splinter is worth something like 1.2 Chaos Orbs each, so those are worth picking up in small chunks. The way I've been going about doing these maps is I've been running around, I've been picking up all the Sulfite vents from Nico to get the buffs from Pact with Energy. I've also been trying to look around for shrines. If I can get a Speed Shrine or a Spell Echo Shrine, we can snap all the legions very quickly. I don't waste too much time with it though. If I don't really find anything within like the first 30 seconds to a minute, I'll just go to the closest legion. I'll stand in the middle of it and I will shoot in every direction. Everything should be dead after a few seconds, and then I just run at both the legions and kill the general on each side. For this, I would say you would want a build that is good with explosions, either piercing projectiles, chaining explosions, chaining projectiles, or just any projectile build in general would do well here. Some recommendations would be Blade Vortex, Instalker, Winter Orb, Lightning Strike, maybe Spectral Helix, just something that is really good at mapping and has very good screen clears. The way I've been doing these is I clear all the legions and maybe kill the boss if it's close by. Then I come back and loot everything at the end. Sometimes I will loot as I go. You can honestly do it both ways. Does not matter too much. The only thing that's important is you want to get through these maps really, really fast. The whole point of this is to do a lot of maps per hour rather than 1 or 2 maps, per 10 minutes. You want to go fast. Now for the loots. A lot of the loots that I got while doing this was small pieces of currency here and there, but the big important part of all this is the emblems. These are the emblems that I got from 60 something maps of doing this. And the important one here to look at is the Marikath ones. We do not want to sell these on the trade website. What we want to do is we want to sell them in sets of 5 on TFT. This way we can get an exalted per set, and they will sell very quickly on exalted per set. If you were to sell each of these emblems individually, the total price of a set on the trade website is around 120 chaos. So you're losing 50 chaos not going through TFT. For the excess, since we can only sell as many sets as we have Marikath, we can sell them in exalted rates and get substantially more. The lower 3-tier ones we can sell for 1 to 20 exalted. The green ones we can sell at 1 to 8. And that will increase our profit per emblem by a few chaos. If we just look at the money from the emblems alone, this is my graph for doing this for about 5 hours yesterday on stream. We started at about 13,000 chaos orbs and ended the day at around 17,000 chaos orbs. This isn't the full picture since it's not including the price of Marikath at the full value, but a very simple way to see the total value that we got from this is to simply take our Marikath emblems and add 50 chaos to the value of them. This would put the total money that we made in 4 or 5 hours at around 32 exalted when we include all the other small drops. This puts this method at anywhere between 7 to 8 exalted, which I think is really good for the amount of efforts that we have to put in. We're only putting 2 compasses and a scarab. We're alking and going our map, and we're just simply killing the legions. I was pleasantly surprised by how good this felt, especially since legion farming is really fun to do, but usually this late into the season, profits are pretty bad on it, simply because everyone does splinter farming and the splinters really aren't worth much. But it seems like 5 ways are popping off right now and it's keeping the price of emblems pretty high. I'd say give this method a go if you want something easy to do, something that doesn't require you to buy 7 Sextants and 5 Scarabs and 3 Deli Orbs and every other piece of juicing you can think of for slightly less profits than putting all the juicing you can think of on a map. I had a lot of fun during the one day that we tested this on my stream. We just hung out, we talked, we had fun, we memed. It was a great time. We didn't have to really think too much about the maps. That's all for me for today though. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer any of them. You can also come by my stream. I stream every day. If you want to ask your questions directly, you can come there. Or if you just want to hang out, I always love hanging out with people and talking to them. It's very fun. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I'll see you next time.